Greenland is home to a vast wilderness of ice and rock. Due to the warming global climate, Greenland's 1.7 million square kilometers of ice is rapidly melting. In the summer of 2014, a team of 4 of us organised our own expedition to Greenland. Our aim was to study the full picture of the changing landscape in the Arctic and the impact this has on the people who live there. I'm currently an undergraduate at the University of Glasgow studying geography.
I'm currently an earth science student at Glasgow University.
I'm an artist and I'm going to be studying in Florence Academy of Art in September.
I'm just about to go into my 3rd year of studies at Edinburgh University, studying geography with environmental studies.
The team was confirmed 9 months before the expedition set off. From here, we took on the long process of funding applications, logistics, and training. This was a new challenge and one which took us all far from our comfort zones. There were many setbacks, and every day we faced the possibility of the expedition failing.
That was the hardest thing, just days where you're not getting any emails back, or people are saying sorry we can't give you funding, or we're not interested, and it just all builds up.
When we were struggling with logistics or whatever it was, we just had to keep telling ourselves that this is the challenge that we came for, and we can rise to it, make it successful, and get exactly what we want out of it. It wasn't until 1 week before our flight that everything came together. Equipment had been bought, bags had been packed, and after months of planning and uncertainty, our adventure was about to begin. In 2014, there was extensive summer melting, and we could see that the glaciers were gradually retreating.
So the river we see behind us is a result of meltwater coming from all over the ice sheet. Now in summer, the melt rates are much higher, resulting in the river being higher and having much more power. That gives it the ability to move ice along the glacier that we see just behind us.
The river was rarely stronger than in June 2014, when the area experienced rapid melting and a record temperature of 23 degrees Celsius.
One thing I really didn't expect was the temperature. I was so prepared for very cold, very harsh conditions, but when we got there, it was very pleasant.
So the ice you can see here is at the end of this very, very long journey from water falling onto the ice cap, turning into ice, and is now about to calve, which is when the ice breaks off and falls into the water to flow out to sea. In the last 10 years, this ice has receded 30 meters. All these calving and melt events add up through time, and ultimately cause glaciers to get smaller. On our expedition, we took several time-lapse cameras. We were able to program these to take photographs at set time intervals of the Russell Glacier for the duration of our stay. We were here about 5 days ago, and the landscape could not be more different now. It's it's clear that several calvings have taken place from the glacier, and the result is that this bay is now filled with ice broken off from the main ice body. So this is just clear that global warming is happening at a very fast rate, and this kind of change can happen within just a few days. When exploring the town of Kangerlussuaq in West Greenland, we realised how closely linked the local people are with the physical landscape. However, when we spoke to locals, they told us only of the positive impacts of climate change, particularly on tourism. As Greenland became known for its melting ice, travellers and scientists began to visit Kangerlussuaq in huge numbers. There are now many tourism businesses in town, and these give an incredible boost to the local economy each year. This is clearly not a black and white issue, and it has no definite answer. We left Greenland asking ourselves the question: how do you approach people in places like Kangerlussuaq in the Arctic about climate change when so far it has brought them so many benefits?
I think being able to spend time in the Arctic, you really can't gain an appreciation for how vulnerable it is. And obviously we didn't see all of it, and the part we did see was quite a unique area in terms of Arctic habitat, but just being able to see the wildlife and the glaciers and the rivers and seeing how much it changes even over the 3 weeks we were there is really hard hitting in terms of the way you think about our interaction with the Arctic and the world.
One of my favourite memories was actually seeing the ice for the first time. I wasn't prepared for how huge and beautiful it was. Like when we first went down to the cabin bay and we were so close, it was kind of breathtaking.
Looking back on the trip, it's a relief that it did go ahead, but it was nothing like the original plan that we had. We made a lot of adaptations along the way.
It's always so rewarding at the end of it, even if it was a bit hard. There's so many good moments and so many amazing memories. They wouldn't come into your experience if you hadn't taken the leap to go for it.
Right, best moment was when we were on the road to our base camp, and we came around the corner, around the mountain, and all of a sudden the ice cap was just there, and that was the moment I went, we're here, we're doing this.
I think the best part of the trip for me was being able to experience firsthand an environment which I've been studying in geography for as long as I can remember.
I'd say my biggest learning point was just to find the will to keep on going. I think that's important, to have the motivation to keep on going.
For me, I think the biggest thing that I learned through the whole process was that despite being young, despite having a really big objective, and despite not having the biggest audience for the work that we do, we could still make an impact.